class today we're going to be talking about bisectors, angle bisectors, and perpendicular bisectors. And if you remember, bisectors cut whatever they're bisecting into two congruent pieces. Okay, so first we're going to take a look at a perpendicular bisector. And perpendicular bisector is a special bisector because not only does it cut whatever it's bisecting into two congruent pieces, but it also forms a right angle with it. So since the only things that can be bisected and perpendicular are line segments, here we have just a generic line segment. And we're actually going to construct a perpendicular bisector. And by construct, I mean the only tools we're going to use are a compass and a straight edge. Okay? Now, if you want to draw a perpendicular bisector, there's no guarantee that it's actually going to be exact. With a compass, if you do the steps correctly, you do have a better chance of getting an exact perpendicular bisector. So you're going to get, and some of you who were there when the Teach Houston students came are going to get a paper, a foldable, that tells you of how to do the different constructions. And you're going to get that in class. I'm just going to read out the examples so you can get familiar with the terminology. So in this case, we have a line segment that we want to draw a perpendicular bisector for. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to place our compass, which is the pointy part, at one of the ends of the line segment. And then we're going to adjust the radius of the compass. And we know compasses draw circles. We're going to adjust the radius so that the radius of the circle is more than halfway the length of the line segment. Now, of course, this is not more than halfway. It's actually less than halfway. So we may need to eyeball it. It doesn't have to be, it can't be exactly halfway. It has to be more than halfway. And then with our compass on one of the line segments, we're going to draw not the entire circle with that radius, but we're going to draw an arc above the line segment and below the line segment. Okay? And that's what we've done. And then we're going to take the same compass and not change the radius, but this time take the compass and put it at the other line segment and draw an arc above and beneath the line so that it intersects the previous arcs. And some of you may have to draw or extend the arcs again so that they intersect. And when I do that, we have these intersection points. Here's one, and here's another. And then with our straight edge, we are going to connect the two endpoints by drawing a line between the two endpoints. And when we do that, this line that we draw is our perpendicular bisector, our PB. Not PB and J, but PB. So that it forms a right angle. And if you want to see for sure if it forms a right angle, compare it with this cardboard straight edge. And it does form a right angle. And it bisects it, which means it goes through the midpoint of this line segment. How do I know it's the midpoint? Well, I'm going to fold the one input so it's on top of the other input. And that should also draw a line segment. And when I unfold it, you'll see that it's pretty much, if I could fold right, pretty much goes through that perpendicular bisector that I drew. So that is an example of a perpendicular bisector. It not only bisects the line segment, but it bisects it at a right angle. Now, another bisector is an angle bisector. So if I have any type of angle, and it can be acute or obtuse or right, this one kind of looks like a right angle, but it's actually not a right angle, and I can use this to show you that it's not a right angle. Yeah, it's not a right angle. But we're going to bisect this angle by drawing a ray or a line segment that will cut this angle into two congruent pieces. Okay, so let's start. It says here in the instructions with the compass are to place the compass at the vertex of the angle and then draw an arc that intersects both sides. So I may need to make my compass radius a little bit smaller because I did draw this side a little bit shorter than the other side. And then I'm going to draw an arc that intersects both. Okay? And then what we're going to do is when we did that arc, we ended up with two intersection points. One here and one there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my compass and place it at one of the intersection points, and I'm going to draw an arc across the interior of the angle. It doesn't have to be the same radius, so I'm going to even change the radius, or it can be the same as long as you're going to make sure it's inside. So when I do that, this is what I get. And make sure your compass stays on that point. Then without changing the radius, I'm going to put the compass on the other intersection point and draw my arc. And as you can see, it doesn't match up, but that's simply because I didn't extend my arc small enough. So I'm going to extend it so that it will intersect. And looks like here I made it way too small, so I won't have an intersection point. So I guess I should have kept it at the same radius. So I'm going to redo it with a larger radius. Start my intersection point here and draw it up here. Keep my intersection up here. Move my compass to the other intersection point and draw it here. And now I have my two arcs intersecting. I draw my little intersection point, and with my straight edge, I draw a line that connects the vertex of the angle to the intersection point, and there's my angle bisector. So here's my angle bisector. I would make this into two congruent pieces. To double check, I could fold along the angle bisector and see will the one side of the angle appear. Oops, y'all know I can't fold. It was close though. Okay, I hope y'all trust me on this, but it does work. And here it does. We measured into two congruent pieces. So we have a way of constructing an angle bisector with and a perpendicular bisector without using a protractor or a ruler, but just by using our lovely compass and our straight edge. Okay? Sorry the video is upside down. I try to keep it right side up. And that's it.